dragging everyone out to the deep waters and forcing them down to hold their breath. 8 Elans and counting right now as we're inside the near top 10. And finally, there it is. He does end up losing back. Okay, someone had a light vest. They're fighting back. Par swings around the side. Kinetic Blades on up, and he's out of material. It's all or nothing now.
At least he has the men miss. It's not going to get him to full HP, but it's something to work with as he finally gets taken out and tagged up. That's Muzz. He won game number 1. 7 eliminations for the team so far as Peterbot trying to hold on to the high ground, but Quanti gets lost. Clarity doing what he can. He's able to get the elimination. The Siphon's going to get cleaned up. Into the top 2 we go, and Peterbot is by himself in a 1v2 situation, getting forced out of zone. That's Nounsy and ZZ trying to take it all and pressure him, but do they have the heals or the momentum on the side? And it looks like ZZ's going deep into the zone to try to fight him. You hear the men miss going off. Does he have enough as Peterbot finally runs out? Now it's his turn to get onto the hut. The Siphon is going to get picked up. That was huge. That Siphon was big. That could be it. The difference for Peterbot, but only 2 ticks left in the zone. His luck is finally runs out as Nounsy and ZZ take the game.
That's actually crazy. In an unseen turn of events, ZZ found a med miss when he ran back into the storm. But more importantly, Peterbot must have thought he won that when he caught the Siphon.
Yeah, it was huge find because he didn't even necessarily get the knock onto that player, but he definitely got the cleanup. And I was wondering almost all day long with how well Peterbot and Quanti are performing. When are they going to show up? And they showed up big in this last game, just not big enough.
And Nounsy literally was the deep shark in the sea there, takes down Baka, and then turns it around, and he was just cleaning up house on the low ground, finds Clarity G as well, and just credits to them for trying to, make the Mega Brain play. Nounsy hides his body, not well enough as he was discovered by Peterbot, but what a way for them to go ahead, play big, play smart, and win game 5.
Yeah, you talked about the men miss, that elimination as well. Peterbot, man, you got to watch out, but congratulations yet again. Another team entering the fray and taking a VR.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and do the math. We got to get caught up.
Thank you so much, Jacob PR, Monster D-Face. 1 game is left to go, but here in game number 5, fellow Z's, ZZ, and Nounsy. Get it? Because I'm a Z. Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
I just want to make sure.
You're so funny.
They give themselves a victory royale, and I have to give, as they give credit to Peterbot, knowing, like, in those moments when someone goes down, it's hard to find them. But Peterbot knew exactly where they were. And I really in my heart of hearts believe, no way Peterbot just clutched it, but apparently not quite.
I think a lot of people feel the same way. We all thought that Peterbot had that right there. And I love that you bring up, being aware of where other people are. And I think what ZZ did really well there is being aware of where the heals are going to be. Once you do get down to the final 5 teams, you'll actually see a lot of players kind of paying attention to what is on the ground around them, because they know that eventually it might be going down to a heal off, as we've seen time and time again. So being aware of what's going on around you, not just of where the players are, but also where the loot is a pivotal part of success.
The timing when it comes to heal off is so incredibly important. And like we said, we thought it was going one way and it just completely went a different direction. And it's something that you can try and practice, but at the end of the day, finding those last minute heals, it's really just down to the wire, and it can be thrown up in the air. You just never know who's it gonna go to. In this case, we got Noun and Daz over here.
That's right. We have to turn our attention to the standings, because remember, we only have 1 more game to go here, and then we'll be back tomorrow for the last 6, and from there, ultimately determine who's going to win Major number 2 and what the top 3 moving on to Globals will be. But for now, how are the standings? Duke and Edgy, they have maintained this lead. And I got to say, I'm extremely impressed with the duo, and even Acorn and Cold, right? The last few games, they've held those 2 spots down. But as you said last week, Kelly, Edgy has always been the bridesmaid, never the bride. Right. Could we finally break the curse? Is this the major to break the curse?
I mean, with a 30-point lead right now, they're doing a great job. They have the 2nd most amount of eliminations, as well as the most amount of placement points. So not only are they winning every single one of their early engagements, but they're also able to translate that into a successful end game right here. And something that Duke does an incredibly good job of is staying ahead of the pack and finding the right ground to kind of land on. You'll see he'll adjust by going from mid ground to low ground to high ground, depending on what's the most advantageous for him. And we can see right here, holding down the mid ground, doing a great job, going from 2 to 4 eliminations in the blink of an eye right there, while also still having heals. Unfortunately, he does go down. But again, if you're able to consistently make it into the end game time and time again, a victory royale doesn't matter. I mean, look, they have 0 and they're still in that first place spot.
Dude, I honestly feel like for Duke and Edgy, they're like, man, y'all should have thrown us in top of the show, because we are a team that is showing up and showing out. And I mean, seriously, a lot of the other teams, like, of course, a favorite, Acorn and Cole, we've seen them show out as well. But Duke and Edgy have just this, I don't know, like, they have this power inside of that. They are just zooming through these games and they're making it happen. And I really do believe, you know, people are going to start VOD reviewing, watching, kind of trying to get technical and see what they're doing, because it needs to be replicated.
They're hungry for it, right? That's why they're holding down that #1 spot. But as we look down, Acorn and Cold, I kind of want to focus in on them for a moment. They are still, like, though there is a lead from Duke and Edgy, it's not much, right? And with a single game, if Duke and Edgy were to say fall early, right? Acorn and Cold will go off. They have done this in the past. And so I'm very worried that, like, Acorn and Cold are kind of like playing with their food, and they're like, yeah, you guys are in first place. And they're just waiting for that moment to strike.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Obviously, Acorn and Cold are an incredible player. Again, shout-outs to Dignitas right now. They have 3 out of the top 4 teams being represented, so clearly they have a good job picking the right teams in to represent them. But Acorn and Cold, I mean, they had first place in weeks 1 and 3. They are the reigning champions, so I don't think there's too much to say besides the obvious that they're some of the best for a reason. But can they take down Duke and Edgy? That's the real question.